Alright everyone, this is Luminous coming you guys with a pro Dota commentary, and today gonna be bringing the game between GG.net, which is formerly known as the NWO, and against MYM. Of course, both of these teams are kind of my favorite teams from European. I'm not too big of a European fanboy, but these two teams, I really like them. MYM, I really have a history of really enjoying their gameplay, and they're kind of a lot different from a lot of the other European teams. A lot of the other European teams are a lot more aggressive in terms of their ganks and playing style, whereas MYM has more refined push strat. So I really like them for that. And for NWO, or now known as GG.net, they have really some of the best all-star players around. Aizen, one of my favorite. Miracle, one of my favorite support players in the European scene. And of course, Kuroki and Puppy, you can't really dislike them. Well, I guess you can, but I really like them. So that is that. And if you've been living under I guess a Dota rock for the past couple of days, NWO, the former NWO, lost their sponsor and is now signed with Gosu Gamer, the website that I got this replay from, and now they're GG.net. So it's actually pretty cool. I'm not really too sure how the sponsorship thing will work out, especially like, are they gonna have enough money to send, let's say, the entire team to China if there's a big LAN, or Asia? Because right now Dota is gonna become more and more international. And if your sponsor can't really send you to big LANs, that's kind of a big crippling blow, to I guess how your team's gonna progress. Because in the European scene, not many teams actually fork out the big money to send teams to, I guess, travel really far away. I only know MYM does it, and of course DTS, the former DTS, does it. Now in this year, I don't really know how the sponsorship issue is gonna work. So that is my fear for the European scene, but that has nothing to do with this game. So let me get right into it. As you saw from the load screen that I just put up, this is a 6-9C game. So these guys are making me jump between 6-9C and 6-7-0, which does have quite a bit of difference in terms of the strategy and the picks. Of course, one of the biggest change from 6-9 to 7-0 is the change in Lich. Definitely 7-0, there were a lot of teams really picking Lich. Of course, there's the new heroes such as the AA, such as the Weaver, entered in the Chinese scene as well. I'm not too sure whether the European teams will be picking it. If you watch Ian's most recent commentary, I think LGD was picking both Weaver and the AA, and Spectre as well. Spectre's getting a lot of plays in the Chinese scene. So there's quite a bit of difference in terms of the metagame and strategy. But again, this is we're in 6-9C, so let's get into the pick and ban analysis here. The Pugna, the Doom, and the Clock were being banned by Ghost Gamer, and I just realized my computer's really loud, so give me 1 second to cover that stuff up. Alright, I just that's my computer fan, which sounds like a blender, really. Okay, alright, let's get back in the game. I actually didn't really miss too much of the pick and ban analysis. Meanwhile, the Scourge, the MYM, is banning the Windrunner, the Alchemist, and the Bat Rider. And actually very strange, well, not very strange, but very surprising that Vengeful Spirit is not being first picked up or banned. Generally, Vengeful Spirit, I think it's one of the best support ever in Dota history. Like, the stuff she does is just so good. She's item independent, semi-leveled independent, and no team is picking up the Venge. I'm really surprised by it. GG.net decides to pick up the Invoker first, which they do have a great Invoker player, Pycat or Patchcat. I think it's Pycat. And let's see what kind of Invoker is he going to play today. Invoker is pretty a versatile hero in terms of both laning and, of course, a skill build. So there's really you can't really expect too much from Invoker in terms of kind of trying to predict what he will do in terms of skill set. He could kind of do whatever you want him to do. Meanwhile, Scourge is going to pick up the Earthshaker and the Morphling, quite long range heroes, high mobility heroes, and very good trialing component already picked up from MYM. And one of the reasons I really want to catch this game is that we always hear a lot of talk about how Puppy is one of the best Dota mastermind in terms of picking, and on the other hand, we also have Milk as one of the best mastermind in terms of picking. So I really like this pick and ban analysis. Even though I'm just saying what hero they're picking and banning, like, I'm trying to absorb this like a sponge right now, because I generally captain for my team and for a pick and ban, so I really want to learn quite a bit from this. So meanwhile here, Puppy is actually going to pick up Venge and the Visage as the second and third pick. Now Venge, as I already spoken about just now in many of my other commentary, is by far one of the strongest support hero. And we're going to see Visage being picked up as the third pick. Visage is a very, very good, strong tri-lane. We have seen Visage in the Chinese scene lately have been played as a kind of a semi-support. I think the more traditional Visage playing style is that you put him as a farmer, but now we're kind of seeing the trend going into he's more of the slower and kind of the harasser and not getting most of the farm. And a really, really good response pick from Melk here. It's going to pick up the Brood. Right now, yes, the Sentinel does have a little bit of AoE in the form of Invoker. Well, no, that's a lot of AoE. But what Brood allows him to do is that give him the mid-game threat of just harassing your lane, harassing your tower, and of course pushing your tower as well. But also it's really good in terms of, well, you have a really high nuking lane, but if you can't see me, then how the hell are you going to nuke me, right? So in terms of that regard, Brood is not that bad of a pick. It just depends on whether GG.net is going to pick up that early Sentry Ward. Because if you do pick up Sentry Ward against the Broodmother, he's really just a 500 melee hero against a tri-lane. Like there's just no way that he can handle it. And it's also going to depend how these two captains going to pair up the lane against each other. Right now the Scourge tri-lane is a lot more defensive. Of course, the Morphling is a great escape spell. If he chooses to use it as a escape spell, of course you could also waveform in very aggressively. Of course, Fisher is one of the best defensive hero in a tri-lane, because really you don't even have to be near where the fight is going to be happening, because your Fisher range is so long, and because the AoE is so big as well, you don't even really have to be in lane, and you can still bail out your teammate. So that's why Melk first picked it. It's such a strong hero. Of course, the standard respect ban against MYM, because really the Sentinel team picks, Scourge. MYM has, of course, their infamous pushing strat, and they always run it with the Chen. So of course Melk's Chen is just unbelievably good. So that's why they also banned it against MYM, of course. Meanwhile, Sentinel or Scourge is actually banning the Darkseer, which is more or less a protective ban against for their own Broodmother, because the Broodmother have quite a bit of trouble against the Darkseer. Once the Darkseer gets enough mana, either through a mana aura from a Crystal Maiden or just getting a Soul Ring, that Broodmother is not going to have a really good time in terms of laning. He can't really get too close to the creeps, and he can't really abuse the Spiderlings either. So pretty good bans from both of these captains as we wind down on the pick and ban analysis. And the final ban is going to be the Witch Doctor. For Sentinel, I guess that works out, because right now if you look at the Scourge heroes, really no hardcore support here, but I feel like the Scourge could really pick up. I mean, there's really a lot of good support still in the pool. Crystal Maiden is in the pool, Lion's in the pool. Lion is not too good of a support in my opinion. He's still good, it's just that he lacks the early AoE presence in the trial. And yes, Impale is an AoE, but you can't really count on it too much, whereas compared to things like Witch Doctor or Crystal Maiden, you kind of have more or less a bigger AoE presence. So I feel like in that essence, Lion's not too good of a tri-lane hero. That's why you don't really see a lot of Chinese team putting Lions on the side lane. You mostly see when they pick a Lion, they usually dump it in a solo mid. So Mel's taking quite a bit of time on this last ban. I'm not really too sure what he's thinking. He's going to ban a Sand King. Oh, okay, the Sand King will protect you. Again, this is a very protective ban against the Broodmother. You can lane a Sand King against the Broodmother. Imagine how that lane's going to work out, right? Your Broodmother is going to try to do something, but there's really nothing you could do against, Sand King, because he could either Sandstorm and kill all your Spiderlings, or you could actually get a very early level of Caustic Finale and kill your Spiderlings that way as well. You're not going to kill a Sand King because you don't really have any reliable way to kill him, because he has 2 escape spells. So that's pretty good. Meanwhile, the Sentinel is going to pick up a Dusa. Dusa we haven't seen in the lately. I'm not really too sure whether this is the best of picks, but we'll see how it plays out. This Invoker is going to be kind of a murky in terms of how he's going to lane. It looks like from what we have so far, we might have a Dusa solo. We might have an Invoker slow and then have the tri-lane, or more likely we're gonna have the Visage as a support, like a babysit to the Dusa, as I talked about earlier. Actually, going back to the Sand King comment here, I'm not too sure what team actually does it a lot. I remember it was actually Dollar from Online Kingdom. If you guys still remember that team from way back, they're disbanded now. I remember they actually picked him Sand King a lot, solo mid against Broodmother whenever the other team has it. So I guess that's kind of a real life example of why they ban the Sanking against the Broodmother. I just feel like it's not really too much of a necessary ban. I really didn't. Well, Puppy could be surprising at times, but I really wasn't. I really didn't think that Puppy was gonna go into Sanking because, it's good as a hero. It's just we haven't seen it in quite a bit. I'm just not too sure whether Puppy will pick it up, but we'll see. And MYM is going to take their time a little bit here. They do have a couple options to how they're going to pick up their lane. They will need another solo hero. So things like Shadow Fiend or, whatever is still within the pool. And also they're going to need to complete their tri-lane. Because if you look at the tri-lane, yes, there's a lot of defensive capability. However, there's not many harassment range. So Morphling's only 350 range. Earthshaker, of course, is melee. So I feel like they're better off in terms of completing their tri-lane with the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden's definitely going to help out. I really love the Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker combo. Great AoE presence, a lot of range, and no, they're gonna just ignore whatever I said and make me look dumb. I'm gonna go with the line. This makes me think they're not gonna tri-lane the line. Like I said earlier, line doesn't have too much of AoE presence, so I feel like they're gonna solo mid the line or solo the line somewhere. That is my guess, but they could definitely put the line in the tri-lane. Your guess is as good as mine. And meanwhile, Puppy here is probably gonna complete their trialing as well or pick a solo. It really depends because, like I said earlier, Visage can be the babysitter in the trialing. They wouldn't be too hurt if they don't pick another support hero because Venge is really okay in terms of solo warding the whole game. She doesn't really need too much gold. All she really needs is a couple of point of experience. You really want that level 11 swap, but aside from that, she can just be on full war support duty, and it's not going to be too bad for the Venge. It's just I'm not really too sure. Right now the Sentinel lane looks a little bit slow. They're kind of sturdy, but they don't move as well, right? Because if you look at the Scourge picks, really high mobility hero. The Morphling, the high mobility of the Spiderling with the webs. Not Spider, the Broodmother with webs, and of course the Earthshaker in the line most likely eventually is going to pick up Blink Daggers. Whereas here on the Sentinel end, it's pretty much just walking heroes, right? They're going to just get the treads. There's no Blink Dagger heroes. There's no like high mobility heroes. So in that instance, I feel like MYM will have the advantage in terms of positioning. And if we're talking about positioning, I cannot find a better team in Europe that is better than MYM in terms of positioning. And they're going to pick a high mobility hero to finish the lineup. And now we're going to see this, the lane is going to be extremely clear now. We are going to have the Puck solo, most likely in the side lane, excuse me. And then we're going to have the Invoker solo mid, of course. The Visage and the Vengeful Spirit is going to be on the support for the Dusa. So that's going to be really clear. Now the Puck pick is going to be especially important in terms of initiating against the line and the Earthshaker. But he really needs to be careful. Like I said in my previous commentaries, Puck is a paper dragon. The guy will get fingered and he will die. So especially against a line pick, this is a very bold pick. We'll see who's on the Puck. And I actually need to introduce the players a little bit. Of course, the GG.net roster is quite stable. But meanwhile, the MYM, and Furion being picked up. Are they going to do a jungle Furion? I'm not. Jungling in the pro games lately just haven't been seen for the longest time. And let's see what Milk is going to pick up. You can really judge what lane's going to go in by the items they're picking up. And so far, no chicken spot yet, because really, Milk is going to be the support. I really don't see. Yeah, he buys a chicken. And he buys a crow too, and he's gonna do the chicken snipe. Oh my god, he is gonna do the chicken snipe. I will be jizzing my pants if he does the chicken snipe. So I don't think he has skilled anything. He hasn't picked a skill just yet. So he's gonna basically fly into enemy base and then just teleport here and then kill the chicken and buy TP and just port the hell out. Let's see if we always do this in our DC in house. And like whenever the enemy team picks a Furion, we always just we like instinctively just move our chicken behind the fountain, like just to be safe. But I don't think these guys are expecting it, and Melk is sending his chicken slowly. Actually, he could take a better path through the jungle, but you run the risk being scouted in that essence. So Milk opening this game with a very, very fun Lozy strat. But just going back to the strategy here, like we're gonna see the solo mid line as expected. We're gonna see a dueling of the Morphling and the Earthshaker. Not too sure whether they're gonna pull that off. And of course the Broodmother is gonna be solo, so nothing too unordinary. And the chicken is gonna be flying in. Do they expect it? No, they don't expect it at all. Milk is gonna be teleporting in. Let's go, Milk. He's gonna be porting in. The observers are pinging like crazy. Milk, let us get some teleport going on. Maybe they're going to wait for the enemy to go into the lane in just a little bit. Yeah, he can do just that. The thing is, he actually bought his teleport scroll. Here comes a chicken snipe. Oh, here we go. Oh, milk. One more hit. Oh, tower kills him, but it's so worth it. It's so freaking worth it. Opening up a game was such an awesome strat from Milk. I already love. It actually didn't even need the teleport scroll, so that's cool. But was that a first? I don't think that was a first blood. So whatever. So now the hoax is up, and we're gonna see a tri-lane. This is what I mean. The Sentry Ward very smartly being picked up by the Sentinel hero, and that Broodmother just goes down. This is what I mean. If you have Sentry Ward, that is just a melee agility hero with 500 HP, and he's not gonna have a good time at all in the lane. Meanwhile, the mid lane here, Invoker is probably gonna win the lane. He does have quite a bit of base damage, and really, Lion's not gonna have too much. He can't really do too much against Invoker. He is, well, let me check. Let me make sure. Okay, I was just about to say Lion's gonna get outranged, but no. It's just that really Lion can't poke his head too deep into the creep line, because whenever he gets near, Invoker is gonna just right click, and there's really nothing that the Lion can do. Like, he can defensively impale and try to grab a creep or two and then harass with the single impale like that, as well as we see another gank going to Broodmother. Broodmother is gonna take quite a bit of damage, and it's gonna be a soul assumption. Regardless, Azin's going to get his farm on. It's basically a free farm. But meanwhile here, at the bot lane here, Puck is pretty much going to be pressed down as well, because even though Puck is a kind of a good surviving hero, he really can't do much, as we see a very, very aggressive playing from GG.net, just going past the tower. You can see that the armor is being popped on the Basilius, so they're looking to do the push. A lot of more amateurs team, when they see a Broodmother in the tri lane, they just kind of let him do whatever here. But we see GG.net actually doing two of the best thing you could do against a solo Brood. You kill him with Sentry Ward and you push this lane, because if you think about it, Broodmother is not a good counter pushing hero. Most of his laning presence comes from his invisibility, which is basically lost because of Sentry Ward. And also his pushing abilities come from the Spiderlings, and he's not going to get that because there's 3 heroes with the armor on. They're all basically right-clicking those Spiderlings for even extra gold and whatnot. Meanwhile, there's another dive going on the top lane here. Puck is going to be A-okay. I don't really see the Sentinel Puck going to die in this lane. He's just going to allow the Morphling to free farm. So in that regard, I feel like the Scourge is a little bit ahead in terms of farming, because really the Morphling and the Deuce is going to wash out a little bit in terms of farm. However, they will have the farm of the Prophet in the jungle. He's basically getting free farm, more or less. So in that regard, I feel like MYM is a little bit ahead in terms of farm. And also, you gotta keep in mind, MYM right now does have quite a bit of laning advantage because Milk's little fun move with the chicken. Like, you may think it's just for the lulz, but it's kind of big, because that Lion can't really get, or not Lion, the Invoker can't get his bottle or the boots of speed, whereas Lion can. So in that regard, the Lion in the mid lane is gonna have quite a bit of advantage. Meanwhile, another dive going on the Puck here. Puck is taking quite a bit of damage and it forced back very, very deeply. He's barely level 2, whereas we see Morphling is at level 4 already. Armor is also turned on the Morphling, so they're going to look for a push. Again, Puck is not going to die, but he is going to lose the tower. Meanwhile, similar thing going on. We are going to see another Sentry Ward going to drop down. The slow is going to go on the Broodmother, and we're going to see a soul assumption thrown on the Broodmother. Broodmother is going to be okay. He's level 4 because the creeps is quite pushed on this tower, so he's grabbing a little bit of EXP. Meanwhile, on the top tower here, man, this game is just making me jump back and forth here. Actually, Morphing a little bit trouble because these creeps, they're actually waiting for their creeps. And actually, Furion's going to come in as well. Summons 3 Treants, and they're going to get this tower pushed down fairly quickly, doing a little bit of dance at this tower. And meanwhile, the bot tower is going to go down to Azen. Azen last hits, or Azen, however you pronounce it. Azen last hits the tower, so that's pretty key. Let's see if Morphling can return. And can he get the last hit? Yes, he is going to get the last hit. Just to kind of go over who's been playing what. We do have Missy, which is Misery, playing the Morphling. LC Pro, which I believe is Playmate. He is, where is he? He's playing the Broodmother. Of course, Demon is playing the Demon Witch. Milk on the Furion, as I was jizzing on earlier, and of course Mania on that Earthshaker. Meanwhile, the Sentinel here, Pycat, as expected, is going to be on the Invoker. Let's see who is. Kuroki is going to play the Puck. Of course, Puppy is going to be on the Roaming Venge, and the other support player, which is Miracle, is going to be on the Necrotic, and of course Azen on the Dusa. So the hero assignment on the players, it's quite standard, as we see Sentinel actually gonna get another push going on, gonna ride their advantage and try to push down the second tower. As you see these guys just buying the crow. Finally, they get the crow now. which again, I can't stress enough that that little move by Milk is actually pretty big. Sure, he paid for it with his live. We do have a teleport coming in. Let's see who is going to be. It's going to be the Venge. Is he going to get a lob? He's lobbing a stun on the Morphling, but there's really no way to get killed the Morphling, especially with this puck barely at level 3, actually getting out level by the Venge. Let me check out mid lane's doing. Lions at 12 and 8, and as expected, Picat's Invoker 32 and 22. This is what I mean. Invoker is going to have a leg up on the line in terms of lasting. And keep in mind that he was doing this without the support of a courier. And you can see how great Invoker is in mid lane. His base damage is just insane. Now that Lion is going to be a little bit behind, but he is going to pick up level 6 quite soon. So he can, in theory, kill the Invoker if the Invoker is not careful enough. But I really don't see Picat is going to be like, yeah, he picks up strength shred, so he is going to be okay. He's only sitting at 900 HP, but unless Lion gets a gank, I really don't see Pycat actually dying. So meanwhile, the bot lane here, Broodmother, because his other lane partner, because his teammate is actually winning the game quite a bit on the other side of the map, they did lure the Venge away, so now the Broodmother will be able to have a little bit of better time in terms of grabbing the EXP. However, I think they're going to do a lane switch. Yeah, they're going to put the trialing at top and then have the puck at the bot lane here. These two solos going to duke out in just a bit, as we see quite a bit of aggressive move coming from Demon here. Demon playing the Demon Witch, lol. He has a double damage window, so he can do quite a bit of damage with the Impel and Hex and the Finger Death. He'll kill anyone with the solo 1v1. But these guys says like, whatever, we're gonna push a tower instead. A lot of actually Force Spirit putting an Force Spirit cast it so early. Early Force Spirit is kind of pointless because it's just they just don't do enough damage. This Ward is spotting out Demon. Demon's gotta be careful because these guys can really just kill him if they choose to. Now they're gonna just put a little bit more damage on the tower. Invoker with Alacrity, I'm pretty sure has gone for an Exhort heavy build and then grab a point of Wex and then a point of Alacrity. I mean, point of Quas whenever. Meanwhile, checking the farm at the bot lane here. Actually, Broodmother doing quite a bit of damage on the Necrotic. Necrotic is level 6. Broodmother also very low, but he's going to get his passive regen through the web, through the Soul Ring, and he's trying to do something. He's got to be careful because Kuroki is going to nuke pretty hard. Now, one thing I have to say is that even though Kuroki played against a lane that's, he was outgunned. Kuroki's very good positioning put him in the lane. He didn't die at all, so he basically saved his phase and also saved his illusionary orb just for escape purposes. As we see 2 pair of dust being bought on the Broodmother, they really want to kill the Broodmother. Broodmother gotta be careful. I don't know what he's trying to do. Oh, okay. Alright, Playmate, what are you doing? Okay, he was baiting for the Morphling. I don't think Morphling can get a kill on, no, you don't get it. You usually don't get the Adaptive Strike early, and most likely has skilled Morph, which is quite a defensive build, but that is the standard build. So, I guess if that was a bait, that was a pretty bad bait, so that was just giving Kuroki a free kill. As we see Lion again quite aggressive, but again he is scoped out by this ward. He's actually in a very, very dangerous spot. He's trapping 3 enemy towers. He's gonna go for Dusa. What an aggressive move by Demon here. He's gonna run past the tower as well. He's gonna get a support or 2 from Freon. Freon can't in theory TP in, but no, we are gonna see Aizen having the good map awareness. No, he's gonna come around for the Venge. Nope, it's just not. Demon's actually, he's actually wasting quite a bit of time because he's barely level 6. You do want the Lion to pick up a pretty quick dagger as well, as we see Miracle doing quite a bit of the same thing. He's trying to lurk around, trying to find the Lion, but no one's finding anyone else because everyone's trying to gank the other players. So let's check out how far I'm seeing. I'm not too sure. Let me see how much neutrals, 30 neutrals on Milk, so that's not too bad. Meanwhile, we are going to see Lion at 22 and 9. Invoker at 53 and 27. We're looking at around 70 CS, or 80 CS, deny and last hits combined in 10 minutes. So that is just some insane CSing. Meanwhile, LC Pro, which is Playmate 29 and 1. Morphling at 56 and Miracle 7-1. And let me see how that Aizen's at 31 and 4. So I think the farm is a little bit a wash, because we see the Morphling heavily dominating the Dusa, but the Invoker is heavily dominating the line. So more or less it's a wash. As we see a mid push going on, and we are going to see the kind of the traditional MYM-ness. They really do like their get their push going on. Push is really going to help out, especially this mid tower, fairly important in terms of gaining map control. It's going to help out the ganks and whatnot, and that is especially important for the line, who really, like, he was really running around trying to get the ganks mid lane, but now he has a lot easier path into getting to access into enemy jungle. Really good micro by Milk, sending a Treant just for that little bit of scout, little extra scout information. Yeah, if they could kill your scout Treant, but it's only like 15 gold, 20 gold, no big deal. But the information you get is quite more a lot more vital. So. Meanwhile, Morphling is going to continue his free farming. He's sitting at 16 and 65 and 11. Misery is just farming like crazy right now, and he is going to be unimpeded in farm. It's most likely it's going to go for that Lincoln Sphere into Ethereal Blade, quite standard. As we see Invisible Demon Witch going to come in. Is he going to go for the Dusa? Dusa just got picked off. Fisher going to go for the Puck as well. So that was that was a little bit unfortunate. Tower denied as well, and we see Misery kind of passively. That's not BM at all, but I could feel the intent. Yeah. So a tower denied, a tower kill for MYM. MYM off to an excellent start in this game, 3-2. The hero kill score is quite even, quite close, but I just feel like right now MYM does have the better game plan. Also, I feel like they have better mobility as well. Yes, the Sentinel does have Puck here, but like still, they have Blink Dagger Lion, they have the teleport from the Furion, they have Blink Dagger Earthshaker eventually, of course, and they have the Broombender and the Morphling. So all of them very high mobility hero. And like I said in the introduction earlier, I feel like the MYM team, at least to me, is probably the best team in Europe in terms of positioning. And right now they're going to try to get a kill online. Gets a swap him on him as well and silence. And I think the magic missile is going to cool down. Pug is going to get a kill. So Pug is desperately needing whatever farm he could get because he's only 12 and 0. Yes, 12 and 0. Have we ever seen Kuroki farm this bad? Never in my life. So Pug is one of those heroes that you can get your farm on quite easily in the mid game. That's really not much of a big deal. Meanwhile, here at the bot lane here, Playmate getting his farm on, finally catching him on the farm, but he's going to get ganked. Dust is going to pop. There's a slow on him. And let's see how Miracle is going to do on this micro. No, the brooding, not the brooding, the broodmother. But Earthshaker is still in here. It's going to take a soul assumption to the face, but really no big deal for that big ass cow. And actually, Mania has already picked up Arcane Boots, which is going to help his team immensely in terms of the mono region. They don't have a hero such as the Crystal Maiden, and really all the heroes in the Scourge team is pretty spammy. They could definitely get their spam on. So that Arcane Boot is not going to be, it's going to be really important in terms of sustaining a push and also sustaining a really kind of a long ganking attempt without going back to the fountain. As we see, again, Misery just getting his free farm. No one really even stopping him. I feel like NWO, or excuse me, GGNet right now, I feel like they're almost like a headless chicken. They're kind of running around, not really knowing what they need to focus on, and they've been trying to run back and forth in terms of gank. Oh, there's a gank on the bot lane. They're gonna try to focus on the Visage. Visage might be going down. Visage is definitely gonna go down. There's a teleport coming in. No, that's from Furion, and Furion's gonna get a tower kill as well. These bursts is gonna do quite a bit of damage on the Furion. Furion definitely not the sturdiest as here. Let's see if it's gonna be a clutch deny from Miracle, and that's why I really love Miracle as a player. He does like kind of unflashy things, but really can mean that's a 1,000 gold. That literally is 1,000 gold just on a couple of micros, clicks on the micro. So that's really well done by Miracle. But going back to the game is that I feel like right now GGNet, they're kind of moving around. They really don't know what they're doing. They try to gank the Morphling once or twice. They try to gank the Brood once or twice, but none of it has been really successful. And that is the benefit of picking a very high mobility lineup. You're less susceptible to ganks because you're faster, you're quicker, and you have So in that regard, I feel like Milk has the better picks, at least in this game. And I'm not really too sure how the Scourge, the Sentinel team could recover. They don't really have a Mega Farm Dusa, as we see here, only 46 creep kill, and they won't really have a Mega Farm Puck, which you can get your team back through team fight. You may be saying, yeah, but they have a Mega Farm Invoker. Wouldn't that count for something? Yes and no. Yeah, farm on Invoker is pretty important in terms of getting an early Aga or early either Eel Scepter or Force Staff, that's going to be really good. But the thing is, Invoker is quite a level dependent hero. Even if you pick up quite early Aga, that Aga is not going to be effective if you're not level 17, right? You really need a lot of Invoke spells, and actually he's going to go for a Pipe first. So that's a very, like, that is all your farm going to a defensive item. So I'm not really too sure whether I like that. In that regard, I feel like, yeah, right now NWO, unless they turn it around to some magnificent mid game team fight, like kind of like Nirvana China-esque, I really don't see them from kind of coming back into this chokehold that MYM is slowly closing in on them. And right now you can see the Demon Witch extremely aggressive, and this is really one of the best way to play the Demon Witch, especially if you're not doing like so hot in the early game. You can see he only got 29 creep kills 16 minutes into the game, but really he's been a huge vital part of his team. Even though his score doesn't show it, he's been roaming the map. He's actually making the enemy afraid. Every time he went on this cliff earlier, there's going to be a huge team fight, but the big AoE-ness of the Earthshaker is just going to kill Puppey before he even could do anything. And with Puppey gone, with Avenge gone, I don't think the Sentinel or the Sentinel gate crash. But they do have quite a big of AoE spell. Let's see what Invoker has. If he has a Meteor, that could be a big AoE presence. But also, they have the Puck as well. Another Fisher hitting 2 or 3 heroes. And I think sooner or later, the Scourge, Sentinel has to back up. This Dusa does not do any damage right now. Invoker doesn't do too much damage. Now we see Morphling and the Broodmother just safely grabbing the Roshan. Let's see who's going to get the Aegis. Morphling is going to pick it up. And with that, I think the Scourge could either go back to their farm, because they could just out-turtle the Sentinel team, or they could just get a lot of push going on. As we see some sort of initiation going on Puck. Puck is going to be okay because he has Illusion Aura, but he has it quite early, and he is going to come around. He's going to be quite alright. No, does he have a TP score? He's going to try to TP out. He is going to be okay. He's surrounded by a couple of heroes, but these guys, the Scourge, can get a push going on right now. Ooh. Maniac just going for the Blind Fisher, but unfortunately is not going to find Puck within the woods. Dusa taking this free time, trying to catch up on the CS in a little bit, but meanwhile, we will see the kind of the traditional MYM push gonna start happen. You just put a lot of pressure on your towers, and really slowly but surely, MYM's gonna win through like longevity. I'm not longevity. Kind of starve you out. Starve you out is very a StarCraft term. But that's really what they're doing. Like they slowly inch in and push your tower, and then eventually you're gonna get less and less free creep because you have less and less farming territory. Meanwhile, MYM's gonna have more and more farming territory. And also we saw that I think Demon picked up his Blink Dagger. There we go. You said he only you really don't need to farm your way up to Blink Dagger if you're pushing well, and if you're ganking well. All you have to do is just gank and push, and you will get your Blink Dagger eventually. 29 and 9 as Demon CS, but that's not important at all. What is important is Morphling CS. 18 minutes, 120. We're looking at 7-ish. Let me do that math, mental math. Yeah, 7-ish. That is just an impressive farm. We are going to see a gank coming out. He does have his Lincoln finish. Oh, what is Morphling doing? He actually replicated back in. Was that a misclick? I gotta say that was a misclick. Kind of blows away his Aegis for kind of the no reason. And NWO is going to take whatever brick they could get. Yeah, I gotta assume that was a misclick. There was no reason to go back in. There was no teammate in nearby for support as well, so that was kind of a mistake. But really, MYM is so ahead at this point, it doesn't really matter. Let's see what Broodmother is going to go in. Broodmother is going to go for BKB, very standard item, very good item that is going to be key against the Invoker, which is going to be raining a lot of spells. The only answer Sentinel does have for a BKB Brood is the swap, and you can't really use the swap. You can only use it once in a team fight, right? So, once that's gone, the Broodmother is going to have absolute free reign, especially on these heroes such as the Venge. Venge is going to get picked off. Such as the Venge or the Visage or the Invoker, they really can't do too much against a perma slow from the Broodmother. I'm pretty sure Gorgons all goes through BKB in terms of slow. I'm not 100 positive on that, but hopefully we'll see that in effect in this game. Or if you know, just post it in a comment. Oh, Miracle, micro your shit. Oh, he thought that was fake. Okay, he thought that was real. Excuse me. He actually lost 2 birds for an illusion, so that was not a worthy trade. As we see Sentinel starting to get their MYM push going on. What the infamous MYM push is just putting pressure on all 3 of her lanes. And you can see that Melk has picked heroes that were excellent for that job. Um, Basically, the MYM infamous MYM push is in three parts. First, you pick high mobility hero. That helps if you're Broodmother or if you're Blink Dagger carriers, or Furion, of course. That is going to help out in terms of basically pushing and then put pressure in tower. And once you see the enemy coming, you back off. And then at this instance, the top lane is going to be doing that, and the mid lane is going to be doing that. So you're going to be basically making the enemy hero lose a lot of gold and lose a lot of farm in terms of buying TP scroll and not getting a lot of creep kills. So that is the first crucial part of the MYM strat. The second crucial part of the MYM strat is having wards up. I'm surprised that they don't have this ward up, which is going to be quite vital in terms of getting a push on in both the mid and bot tower. However, they do have quite a bit. This ward is up. That is going to help with the gank. You can see how aggressive they are. This MYM push is going to be happening. And the last and most important part of the MYM push is communication. Of course, if you see we can't really see this from happening, but I'm pretty sure they are just shouting like crazy on vent right now. Oh, this guy's missing, that guy's missing, so you gotta be careful, etc., etc. So that is gonna be crucial as well. And you can see that if one lane's gonna be pushed, these guys gonna just back off because they can sense the danger now. If this lane's gonna be pushed, the Sentinel team does not have to dedicate any hero here, and thus they could help out in the other lane. So we will see MYM going to resume their infamous MYM push once the Broodmother gets closer and closer to the bot tower, and we will see the Sentinel and the Scourge hero starting to push on this towers as well. We're going to see a dual push, the 4-man on top and the Broodmother at bot, and the Broodmother is going to get his push going. He does have Soul Ring, BKB already completed, so really you're going to need at least a 3 or 4-man gank on that Broodmother. Broodmother could just pop the BKB and TP out, or just pop the BKB and fight, or just pop the BKB and run, or just run. Like, he has so many options of what to do, and he is going to be quite alright. Meanwhile, we saw that on the early exchange. Yes, Earthshaker was not farming well. Let me see how his farm. He's 47-9, which is actually not too bad. Line 31-9, but both these guys already having the Blink Dagger, and that is such the benefit of having a really, really heavy push strat. You saw how effective those Blink Daggers were in terms of killing that Dusa. And then also Milk TP in just for the good measure. And right now, Sentinel are trying to answer with their own kind of push going on, but really they can't do too much. As we see right now, these guys are a lot. The Sentinel is not as good as pushing. They're pretty good at defending though. Don't get me wrong. Mystic Snake really good. Of course, Invoker has a buttload of defensive spell, but I'm just not too sure whether Dusa or Invoker could defend 3 lanes at once, which is where MY is gonna get you. They're gonna just push all 3 of the lanes. As we see a huge amount of creeps going on here, and they're going to try to, a lot of gold, and finally Puck picks up his dagger, and let's see whether Kuroki could team fight their way back in this game, because they really need some big team fights, like I said earlier, like almost Nirvana China-esque, to really come back in the game, because sooner or later, like basically every time you push, MYM's going to get like a couple extra points of hits on your tower, and sooner or later your tower is going to go down, so you can only defend so long. And this kind of defense requires quite a bit of constant vigilance in terms of mobility, teammate coordination, and communication. I'm talking about the GG.net. If you actually let up in just a moment, you will just lose a tower. As we see a buttload spell going on Misery, and finally they will kill Misery, and that is going to be huge. But Morphling says, whatever, I'm rich as hell. Gonna just buy back. I'm not too sure whether that's necessary. Some of you might be saying, oh, well, Misery just rage buyback. I'm not so sure whether that really is a rage buyback. Again, we have to keep in mind that MYM is a very heavy pushing squad, and if you have one hero dying, you let up the pressure, and if you let up the pressure, you might make the enemy team come back. So in that essence, I don't think that it's a rage buyback, because we do see going in very aggressively, and we do see the ult from Medusa popping, but now BKB on the Broodmother. Blink Dagger from Mania is going to get a lot of hero, and they are going to just kind of kill the Dusa. They kill the Venge as well, and they're going to go Invoker. Invoker going to try to get close now, but there's a dust. Yeah, there was a dust as well, and Invoker is going to go down. We see a huge win from MYM, and that was an entire team wipe. Puck was not in. Was Puck even in there? No, he wasn't. Or at least I missed him. And now they're going to get the spot tower. It might going to go for the Raps. You got to keep in mind the Scourge extremely great at pushing. They do have the Furion. They do have the Spiderling. And they do have Force of Nature as well. So, of course, the Earthshaker does have quite a bit of AoE damage as well. So, once these creeps spawn there, the creep's going to go down. And there's so many summoning. So many summoning. Oh, okay, just gonna go back to the pick and ban analysis. I finally realized why Puppy picked up that... well, actually, never mind. I was gonna say the Dusa is really good against all this high amount of summoning, But then I just realized the milk profit pick was way after. That was after the Dusa pick, not before it. So, anyways, okay, a lot of some Valiant defend coming from Sentinel, but right now they're gonna lose a melee Rax at the bot lane. This range Rax might be going down right now. It's a little bit early, but I'm gonna call it GGS. We see some initiation going in on the Scourge team. Oh, Meteor! Oh my God, this line's gonna go down. Fearon's gonna go down as well. So finally showing some signs of life from NWO, and oh, really good, well done, really good ice wall. But really, BKB is all she wrote, all this guy wrote, and they got the kill. And right now, the hero count is 9-12, fairly even. But if you see the tower count, right, MYM still have 4 of their exterior tower. Meanwhile, all the exterior tower for Sentinel is just this last one. We are gonna see MYM. I'm gonna go for the Roshan first, and then just get a push. Go for the Roshan first, and then go push mid or top or something. And I think MYM's got this game in the bag. So with that said, I'm gonna drink some water. Excuse me on that. Since the game's not much is happening, I'm gonna give a shout out to the DC movie competition. I'm gonna just keep talking about it until the competition is actually over. The submission is gonna be ending on February 13th, so that should be at least a good two week for you guys to compete if you guys want to join. The rules are pretty simple. The time limit it's only 5 minutes long, and of course the movie should be made just specifically for this competition, and not like if you have a movie already made and already uploaded on YouTube, we really won't count that. But aside from that, that's pretty much it. Of course, the winner is gonna get featured and all that stuff, so that's pretty cool. I plan to participate in the movie competition as well. I'm not really good in terms of editing skills, but I really enjoy editing, so I might just compete. But I'm not too sure whether I have time, because as you guys kind of know, I've been casting a lot lately now, so I want to get my commentaries at least to you guys. I have a kind of a self goal. I want to get 1 commentary out per day until until Chinese New Year to celebrate with you guys. That's kind of my gift to you guys. But I'm not too sure whether I could do it, because I guess I could kind of do it in the weekdays, because really I just work, come home, and there's not much activity to do. But weekends, I go hang out with friends, or play a couple of games of Dota on the DC house. So I'm not too sure what I could cast during the weekends, but never mind that. I see MYM's gonna get a push going on. Let's see if GG.net, I keep wanting to call them NWO. Let's see if GG.net could defend. It's really up to Kuroki at this point. Because if Kuroki could initiate really well and get a great Invoker follow-up with Meteor and all that jazz, they can, in theory, defend this. Right now, we are going to see MYM starting to put pressure in multiple lanes here. Brewmother gotta be careful here. Brewmother actually picked up a Blink Dagger. What a very offensive build. He basically is going to blink in and starting to initiate, and that is going to be okay. That is going to be hugely dependent on whether Stone Gaze is going to work. So, because basically I see the following scenario. We're going to see Brewmother blink in, and of course he's going to cast the BKB. There's no freaking way that he's not going to cast his BKB. But if Stone Gaze goes through BKB, he's going to get blink in, he's going to get his Insatiable Bite cancelled, and, oh, never mind. BKB was not even needed in that case. But you guys get what I mean, right? He's going to blink and cast BKB, and then get his ult purged off by Medusa. But again, I'm not sure whether the Medusa ult goes through BKB. I'm almost quite certain it does. So this is a very aggressive build from Playmate, but it feels like they're winning so much anyways, it doesn't really matter. And also the Sentinel doesn't have too much in terms of canceling the the Blink Dagger. Sure, they do have a Legionnaire Orb, they do have like a really long range Cyclone or two, as we see Miracle trying to pull off the sensational play once again, was not able to get it this time. And we are going to see the MYM pressure continuing on. Speaking of pusher, he is not in this game. That's why we don't see a very heavy support hero being picked up. And a lot of damage is going to be put on this tower here. The Familiar coming in just for the stun, just to delay the push a little bit here. And Neko 3 already finished on Milk. And I have read in like a past interview or whatever, Milk really loves Necrobook. As do I really feel like this item is quite undervalued and underbought in Dota. I feel like it's one of the really one of the best items in the game. It's not really as flashy and as game changing as a BKB. As we said, swap going on the Freon. Freon is gonna go down, but Earthshaker drops his huge ultimate. Meteor is gonna be casted. I think Earthshaker is gonna go down. You can see the Prophet is buying back, so he's gonna be teleporting in for sure. As Brewmother extremely low as well. Brewmother barely runs out. Morphling taking quite a bit of damage. And he does have the Aegis, so he's gonna be okay. He has a Dira Blade as well. So you see Morphling. Did he just replicate out? Yeah, Morphling replicated out, but we see Freon, he bought back but was not going to TP in because the team fight was already over, but I'm pretty sure he casted ultimate with that buyback. So really good initiated team fight from GG.net, and they're starting to show a little bit sign of life. That was a really good team fight. Well, not the best, of course, because I think they lost a Venge, but trading the Venge for a Earthshaker and a Furion and the buyback, that was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty good. So I think Scourge just got a little bit overzealous. Sure, Earthshaker can get the ultimate on, and he did on the Sentinel, but GG.net had such a good spread. Like, I think only Dusa got really caught with the ult, and really Dusa eating an Earthshaker ult, he could eat that for breakfast. And actually Dusa already close to that Manta Cell, so right now, despite losing the bot Rex here, GG.net showing a tiny sign of life, a tiny bit. I wouldn't still count them back into this game yet, but you know, anything's possible in Dota. And now like in any against any other team, I would give GG.net a higher chance, because especially in a lot of past European games I've seen, like you would see one team winning really hardcore, like how MYM's winning right now, and then you just see them like, you know, become really lax, and then eventually they give up the game. But this is MYM we're talking about. MYM is they don't BS around too much. The only game I ever saw them BS around was in some like EEDL game where like they fountain chase around, and they eventually lost the game because of that. But I mean, this is pig leagues. This is no joke. So they're gonna just play the game plan. The game plan is quite good as well. As you see, Brewmother, my God, Eagle Horn. I don't think he's gonna go for a Debro Blade, but he will be crazy if he is. But no, he's gonna go for a Butterfly, of course, because usually it's not really too impressive. But we're going to see another MYM push going on. The bot lane, oh, the bot lane's pushing, and my God, this kill, this fountain dive, this tower dive at bot lane here. As we see Invoker dropping his ultimate, BKB pops on the Brewmother. Brewmother fairly low, but he's going to be okay. Misery is going to be okay. He does have the Aegis. Looks like Misery going to just morph everything to strength. As you see epic mana drain going on the Visage. And Brewmother actually blinking out. Now the Morphling is going to be okay, but this tower is just breach here. Furion just skipping the team fight all entirely. Blink Dagger dodging the Deafening Blast. Actually, Invoker bought back as well. Morphling, just a lot of spells being thrown left and right, a lot of flashy spells. In that entire exchange, I have to say MYM definitely came out ahead here. Of course, they didn't wait. They forced a buyback on Invoker. They didn't buy back themselves, so that's a plus. They got a tower in the mid lane. Also, they got a kill or two. I think they killed. No, they didn't kill the Dusa, but at the very least, they killed the Invoker and they forced the buyback. So that is definitely gonna slow down the Invoker in terms of his farm and whatnot. And this is a second game. This is a second game where I see Invoker go one like a random item first. Could have defined this in this case, and I think in the last game it was Force Staff. And then they just skip Aga and then go for Hex. I'm not really too sure whether like all the pro players has came into a consensus of, you know, like Agastica's not good. I just feel like Agastica's core, and I'm pretty sure all the professional players does have what it takes to, you know, cast basically every 2 seconds. It's definitely not too hard. If you're any kind of practice Invoker player, you could do it with semi ease. As we see he tried a one skill pop on the on the Fairy Dragon. But unfortunate because there was a silence, so there was the last hit of the adapt strike was not thrown on the puck, and that puck man. Actually, Misery have quite a bit of strength. I'm not too sure why he has such a high strength. I think you could get rid of about like 10 strength, 15 strength, and you'll be okay. Because right now, like, even though Sentinel do quite a bit of AoE damage, they can't really all focus on Morphling because they have to deal with the Earthshaker, they have to deal with the line, Brewmother, and all that stuff. Brewmother does have his butterfly finish. And if I have to make a guess for his next item, it's probably going to be AC. That's kind of the core, but I don't think this game's going to go that long as we see MYM is really, really slow rolling this. As we see the makings of a Scotty. Come on, buy a point booster. Point booster. It's going to wait for that go. Yeah, waiting for that go for the point booster. MYM's really, really slow rolling this. But they are slowly rolling this with good reason, because you saw in the last team fight where they really just kind of went in like heads on. They just got outplayed. Not outplayed. They got outjumped. Whereas if they divided their forces, they had 2 or 3 come in from this side and try to get a flank, and then they had basically Melch solo pushing. Then it was a little bit better. I feel like, yeah, in terms of just defending uphill, Dusa, I think I said in my Chinese commentaries a while back, it's just really, really hard to push against Dusa up the hill. Not only when Dusa has a lot of HP, she could split shot, she could throw a Mystic Snake. So if you try to frontal push against Dusa, it's just damn hard. But if you have a Raxa bot, you just walk in, just waltz in from behind and trying to gank the Dusa. So if you're getting ganked in your own base, that is demon, going for the. I mean, why not? I feel like Vlad's would be a little bit better in this case because you have quite a bit summon. Seriously, Vlad's would be a lot better in this case. You have a lot of summons. The armor is gonna help. The lifesteal, the damage aura, all of that helps. Dagon, however, does not help that much. As we see, gotta be careful. As we see a Blink Dagger coming in, going for the Dusa. Dusa is quite tank at this point, so it's going to be okay. As we see a counter initiate, Lion is going to go down here as we see a lot of damage being pumped on the Morphling, but there is a good rescue from Mania here. Puck goes down. Broodmother is going to insert everything. He blinks in for Miracle. BKB dodging a stun. Really quick fingers from these European pros, and I believe that is a game. Did anybody back? Fairy Dragon backs, but Meteor gets dropped down. A lot of chaos going on. The Morphling is going to go down. A lot of AoE damage. The Great Fish are kind of semi-blocking, but regardless, they picked up the range rack, so that is another victory. They forced a buyback they forced a buyback from the puck, and they pick up another rack. So right now, GG.net is fighting a very, very losing battle right now. They were showing some signs of life. Really, the MYM advantage that they had was just simply too much. I really disliked the Dagon on Demon, but whatever. Demon's a fun guy. Actually, a while back, I think a couple weeks ago, Demon hosted a LAN in Southern California, and I actually went to the LAN and streamed the LAN. And cast it, basically live casted the whole LAN. And I didn't really talk to Demon, but from what I saw, like his interaction with teammate, he's a pretty cool guy. It's just that he dodged. Like I challenged him over the stream. Like I said, Demon, 1v1 me mid, and he's like, oh, I don't do slow mid. What a dodger! He was afraid that he's gonna get Luminous. That's simply it. So anyways, MYM is trying to get a Roshan kill, and they are gonna get that. Let's see who is gonna get the cheese. Most likely, we're gonna have the Aegis being picked up on the Morphling and the cheese on the Broodmother. That is a very good. As we see the Force Spirit. Let's see, the Force Spirit could actually. Was that Dagon or was that Finger Death? Probably Dagon. And okay, I just zoned out for a moment. Just gonna kill Roshan, and. Who gets Aegis? Morphling gets Aegis. Cheese is gonna pick up on Broodmother. Yeah, the standard distribution. And actually, there is a pretty good article written by Ian and Satmud on DotaCommentaries.com about kind of Aegis and Cheese in terms of kind of who you want your Aegis to be on. Like in most cases, it's really clear. Like if you have a Necrolite or if you have a Morphling, it's pretty clear who do you want your Aegis and Cheese on. But in some cases, like if you have a Dedusa and then you have a Necrolite, like how do you actually distribute that? And then basically, Ian and Sam looked at many scenarios, and then kind of talked about it, who should be picking up. So if you want to read that article, definitely go to check it out in DotaCommentaries.com under the strategy page. As we see, GG.net kind of delaying the push via some push of their own. But really at this point, basically. The Sentinel, the Scourge, MYM could basically just do a 5-man push up top, because the mid's gonna get pushed by itself, and then bot's gonna get pushed by itself. So basically, they just have to push top. But no, MYM's gonna do their thing. Basically, is they camp in front of your, they basically camp in front of your stuff, and then don't let you do anything. See, the bad thing about a 5-man push top is that yes, you can do the 5-man push top, but the Dusa could by herself just push this lane, push this lane, push this lane, and by the time you could get to the top racks, top tower, Dusa would have been here already, and now then you have to TP back and defend this push. So it's kind of a endless cycle in terms of that. But if you park your Broodmother here, then it's gonna be okay. Like Broodmother is gonna go back to mid, or Morphling's gonna go back to mid. Yeah. As we see Morphling trying to finish that trying to finish his Scotty. He does have an ultimate orb worth of gold. Is he gonna buy it? Maybe he's gonna save for buyback. No, there's an item on this. I really hate this. You can't click on an item on the circle. But I forget the item. We're gonna see a big push going on. We all pretty much know who's gonna win it. Actually, Broodmother going for the Demon Edge. Interesting. It's not like it mattered, really. It's just like, it's interesting that I thought he's going to be going for AC. I think AC is a little bit better, especially when you're pushing. A little known fact is that AC does give minus armor on the tower as well, and buildings. It's not like the biggest thing in the world, but it helps, especially when you're a pushing team. It just surprised me so much now that no one has picked up a Vlads on MYM yet. It's just so helpful in terms of pushing. I'm surprised. If I was Milk, which I'm not. I'm so far away with Milk. If I was Milk, I would have been like, dude, get Demon. Just get the Vlads, man. Just get Vlads. I see the swap going on. That was a good initiation. Earthshaker is gonna die. He did drop his ultimate, but the Venge go down as well. So that's a 1-for-1 trade. Let's see if Earthshaker is gonna buy back. No, he does not have to go for buyback, or else we would have done it already. As we see some kind of initiation. No, they don't have any kind of initiation. Actually, MYM just got jumped on, and we are gonna see GG.net is gonna delay this push going on. So that was a pretty good defensive play from NWO, from GG.net. Even though they traded 1-for-1, the trade is definitely in their favor. Especially they killed the Earthshaker really without them initiating on them. So that's actually pretty big. But now I think even the Scourge is like, whatever, we don't have Earthshaker, but we'll push. I will see Morphling extremely stacked, Morphling quite tanky as well. Morphling waveforms incredibly. He does have the replicate, so he is gonna be okay. He has the Aegis as well. Let's see, gonna kill the, oh yeah, there we go. The Vice goes down, Lion's gonna go down. So Broodmother is gonna come in, and Broodmother gets his ultimate pop. Yeah, that does purge. Well, no. That was not the interaction with the BKB and Insatiable Bite. But whatever, anyways, as we see, GG.net successfully defended once again. As we see, even though this Ancient Protector not really healthy, they defended. As we see Blink Dagger dodges. Oh, both people just putting on a dodging show. And this bird, life expectancy, quite low. Now, what are they doing? Oh, what are you doing, Miracle? Feeding some gold. I see Pug. Oh, Broodmother. Oh, Pug need a blink. He is going to be able to blinking to the side, but he's going to take a waveform to the face. There's a silence, and then there he'll blade phase. Oh, Mania is going to get a chainsaw on you. Not a chainsaw, a really well-timed enchant totem. I meant to say. So, man, MYM, it's one thing to take it slow and steady, but it's another thing to kind of like, yeah, okay. I shouldn't diss on MYM too much, because there is going to be a DC talk featuring Pusher and Mania in a couple of days. And then they're going to be, well, I don't even think MYM would ever watch my commentary, but if they did, they'll be like, yo, Luminous, why so much hate? I'm not going to interview with you anymore. So MYM, you guys are the best, man. How about that? As we see Missy or Misery getting a push going on. This build on Morphling, it's quite cookie cutter. I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, the Eye of Saudi is pretty good, but his survival is just not enough. I feel like if you get lifesteal, that would really help out. I feel like if you get Mantis, that would really help out as well. A lot of nukes being dumped on the Duso, all the mana drained, already at half HP. Venge waste is swapping. That is the Q. That is the Q for MYM to push, because every team fight basically the Sentinel has won. Excuse me. Yeah, the Sentinel has won is off a great swap from the Venge, and now the swap is kind of pretty much wasted on that Dusa. The MYM team could just freely push, and they are doing just that. Earthshaker staying in the back fairly safely. Dusa walking in. I don't know what Dusa thinks she is, but she is not gonna get his stuff going on. Does Dusa have buyback? Dusa needs to buyback. Invoker casting his stuff. Ice Swap being casted once again. Gorgon buys back. Of course he has buyback, as we see a lot of spell being casted on the Invoker. Where's that meteor? Where's that EMP tornado combo? Really, Dusa buys back, and that is the cue for MYM to back off. Line gotta be careful. That is just a replica. Excuse me. Yeah, and I think they should pass the cheese to the Morphling. Where's the Brood Mother? Brood Mother died? No, he's still alive. Yo, Brood. And no, cheese is already used. Okay, never mind. Oh, gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Melt gets the kill. As we see Misery getting the range racks. Getting one range racks. Oh, the melee racks actually went down to kind of creep pressure. And one racks standing between MYM and a GG, as we see some initiation going on Demon. And Demon is it gonna live? Touching the Dragon's Flow. Oh, Demon! Demon on the Demon Witch. Oh wow, that was sick. That was some survival. Barely surviving that. And Dusa goes down. And that's the game. That's the game. I guess at the very least we saw some cool demon, as we see Invoker gets his stuff gone, and that is the game. Mega Rex. Dusa actually those are their Dusa illusion. I was gonna say Dusa's still alive. Dusa buys back once again. Oh, this is 6-9. I was gonna say, wasn't there a 4-minute cooldown? He just bought back just then. But no, this is 6-9. Dusa using whatever she can to buy back. BKB being popped on the Brood Mother. Both Brood Mother and the Earthshaker is gonna go down. But there is already mega kills, so all these kills being gotten right. Oh, Brood Mother still alive. Brood Mother still alive. So that is okay. Come on, GG.net. I know you just got a new sponsor, and I know you don't want to lose the game, but like, come on. Let's go. So alright, I'm gonna go into some late game analysis here. I feel like the Sentinel got a little bit outpicked. I'm probably gonna get flamed for saying this because everyone thinks Puppey is the best captain ever, which I still think Puppey is a great captain. Gigi's already called. I still think Puppey is a great captain, especially with that strat they ran against LGD in RGC. My God, what a lovely Orish push strat. Really, I have highest respect for Puppey, but it just got outpicked. Just look at the mobility. Look at the mobility on Sentinel. Brood Mother have the web for mobility and got the Blink Dagger even for her. I think the Blink Dagger is just an icing, unnecessary, but made the game even more exciting and fun to watch. Of course, Earthshaker and Lion will get the Blink Dagger, especially considering that they're MYM. They will push down towers fairly quickly, even though they don't really lane pretty well. Like look at CS, like nothing. It's 46 minutes. Look at these stats. CS just bad, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need CS when you're pushing. You're just gonna get your black dagger like that. So these two guys is gonna get the mobility. And of course, Furion does have the free mobility as you pick it up, as you do with Morphling. So in terms of mobility, MYM team could just go absolutely anywhere. And whereas Scourge, right? Whereas Sentinel is just, they're pretty stationary. Like I said in the beginning of the game, the only mobility they do have is off a Grave Chill, but that's only for the Visage, and then like Puck. That's all of it. And of course they do have a pretty good Venge mobility-ish kind of thing, but that's freaking it. So in that regard, we saw the MYM really infamous push strat kind of come into fruition here, because they could just push one lane and go back. And really, because the Scourge heroes are a lot faster, a lot more mobile, they could always really go back without being fear of gank. And of course, they do have their wards up, so they're pretty safe with that. And another game we saw MYM just really do well with their pushing squad. And I have to say here, going back to that early thing, like with the Mel killing the chicken, I thought, even though that was pretty cute and pretty funny, it's a huge part of the game. I think it deserved a little bit more mention, because Invoker, even though he won his lane really much, like Puck would have loved to have a salve delivered to him, or Dusa would have loved to have something delivered to him, but they couldn't because the chicken was sniped. So that was pretty big. Also, kudos to Melk for going for Necro 3, not only because I really love that item, but because Necro 3 just counters the Sentinel team so well. Not only will it mono burn Dusa, and if you mono burn Dusa, that is like twice as effective, but also it really helps out in terms of warding and counter warding. And actually, Prophet picked up a gem as well. Oh yeah, for the Invoker, of course, the Ghost Walk that counters the Invoker as well. So in that regard, really good. if I was playing the Freon, I would have got the 4-staff first. But I mean, Melk is a lot better Freon player, and you can see that very pushing oriented build. The only thing I have to knock on just a bit is just the poor, quote unquote poor, the suboptimal, I guess that's the better word, the suboptimal item choices on MYM. If they have a Vlad, the push would have gotten a lot more successful, instead of this stagging. And also, I feel like a 4-staff or 2 would be too bad, especially against a Dream Coil. Dream Coil in Invoker is just a nasty combo to go against. A lot of teamfight was solely won off a single Dream Coil and a Meteor and all that stuff. And if you have 4-staff, you could really easily mitigate that. And also, I feel like one of these heroes could really easily rush pipe, and that would really kind of shut down the Sentinel magical damage. But really, that wasn't too big of a deal for Sentinel, for Scourge. And that is pretty much it for MYM. Meanwhile, for Sentinel, aside from being outpicked, I gotta say they just got outplayed. They just come to the pressure of MYM, especially through the mid game. Like I said, I think I said the GG.net felt like chicken without head. They were running from this lane to this lane and then back to mid. They were just running back and forth because you have Morphling just pushing in lane, you have Broodmother just pushing in lane, and then you got like 3 guys in mid pushing lane. It's just really annoying to deal with. And then you just go to the lane, but you can't kill them because they're fast as heck. Like they have Waveform, they have Lincoln Sphere, and they have Spiderweb. It's just annoying to deal with. So in terms of that, I felt like GG.net got outplayed a little bit, but I have to give credit to Puppy though. Whatever team fight Sentinel won, like it's off great swap from Puppy. They either swap the Earthshaker or swap someone. That's also very important. So that's really well done in terms of that. But aside from that, it's kind of a suboptimal performance from GG.net. I was expecting a little bit more from them. I guess MYM just outplayed them then. Sure experience, whatever, all that jazz. So I think that's it. Hope my analysis was okay in this game. And I hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Before I go, I'm gonna ask for some constructive criticism in terms of how you guys think I could improve my commentaries. Yada yada yada. I've been casting for quite a bit, but I'm pretty sure I have a lot more room for improvement. And a final shout out to the DC movie contest. Again, if you're ghosted on the movie making skill and if you would like to participate, go check it out on DotaCommentaries.com. So that is it from me. You will be seeing me again soon because I will be casting a lot for the Lunar Chinese New Year, which is, by the way, February 3rd. Mark it down in your calendars. Even if you're not Chinese, celebrate it with me. Alright, and hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. This is Luminous signing off. GG.